we are more than just the Pride movement. I mean, and that's what I really looked at, because when I saw Power Beyond Pride, I also have this thing where I believe we should fly the flag 365, because places and spaces, it always bothered me that, wait, you're so inclusive in June, or you're ready to promote a thing, but we exist 365 days.
Hello and welcome to Power Beyond Pride, a weekly queer change-making podcast bringing you voices and ideas from across our fierce and fabulous spectrum to transform our world. My name is Mattie. I am one of your hostess with the mostest, and I am typically the loudest laughing person in the building. And I am here with my wonderful co-host, Mr. Shane Lukas, and I'll let him introduce himself.
And I'm Shane Lukas, lifelong harm reductionist, queer liberation activist, owner of a great idea, and the person voted most likely to have his death nominated for a Darwin Award. Mattie and I are your co-hosts for today's Queercast journey. Now, I am beside myself for today's guest, and Mattie, I know you are too.
I'm telling you, I'm outside of myself. I don't know about you, Shane.
Outside. We are in the clouds today, is what we're saying. And that is because today's guest is one of the most multifaceted, deeply inspirational, and all around an absolute precious gift. A model, actress, author, and activist. Best known for her role as the one and only Elektra on FX's Pose, and leaving every Gen Xer gripping the bathroom sink as the dark Bloody Mary in the anthology spin-off series American Horror Stories. Just in time for scare season, now she's slated to appear in the upcoming fearsomely titled feature Queens of the Dead, alongside Katie O'Brien and Bridget Lundy Payne. Please help me welcome Ms. Dominique Jackson. Thank you. Welcome.
Hey. Oh, that was an introduction. Thank you. And let's remember that Bridget, I believe, is now Jack Haven.
Jack Haven. Awesome. Well, we're excited to see them in this upcoming performance.
Yes.
So we really want to celebrate them and all this creative work happening. So we want to celebrate you today and learn more about what's going on in your world, how what you're doing, how you're changing the world. And we couldn't be more excited to have you here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for what you're doing. You are a gift to this world, because when we raise our voices, we are bringing not only awareness, but also visibility. So thank you for what you are doing.
Anytime. And I am want to say, I've said it before, but I am fangirling. I have watched so much of you, not just on Pose, but just in general, like just following your career. And I think you are an amazing person. I do want to run through a couple of things because you've appeared in a lot of shows that I loved. So let's see here. We have you in American Gods, which was an amazing show. Oh my God. We're moving on. The feature film Chick Flight opposite Milan Ackerman, Bella Thorne, if I'm saying this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong.
Milan Ackerman and Bella Thorne, yeah.
And you've also guest hosted on Legendary on HBO Max. You have strutted your stuff on Oxygen's reality show Strut. And you have also released your autobiography, Transsexual from Tobago, just to name a few things off of your resume. So I guess my first question would be, when do you rest? Like, when do you sit down?
Well, I've had a lot of rest with the strike that occurred in 23, world cringe. Then there was the fires in LA. And, I'm so grateful that, people were able to save something from there. Many people lost a lot, but we didn't lose a lot of lives. So I'm really grateful for that. There was that which halted work. And then there was a new administration. So in that time, I had time to catch up. My body had to catch up with everything that was happening. And then I got some time to rest, which I believe some of my friends told me would have been a time for them to really panic. But I really didn't panic during the strike. I have kind of gotten myself into a place where, for me, I know that many people have many different faiths, but for me, my faith is in God. And I believe that faith at times, my faith is not tested, but tried. And so for me, it was like, okay, what's happening here? And so I honed into a positive perspective and thought of the strike and everything as the universe's way of saying, you know what? During this time, you will rest because there's nothing you can actually do but use your voice. You can show up when you can, but to really try to take care of you, because you can't fight a battle if you're wounded, you're not fighting at 100. So I did a lot of catching up, and then now I got back to work with Garden State Equality, they housed the Venus Pedagogy program from the documentary we did, which is called I Am Your Venus, which is now on Netflix. And then I was so fortunate to be able to do Queens of the Dead. Tina Romero saw me and my manager called me and was like, I want to work with you. I was one of the first people called for that film. And I was like, hey, yes, and it was low budget. So coming from Pose, and don't think we made millions of dollars off of Pose, because gosh, then I wouldn't really need to work again.
But y'all looked like $1 million. So I want to call it out. Y'all looked amazing.
Now, the wardrobe Lou Ehrich is amazing, I must say. And then Anna Lucia, Anna, she was a fan. The team, it was really, so coming from Pose, it was like, okay, I'm making enough that I could say, all right, yeah, I'm good. And then to nothing, it was like, oh, wow. But the work for itself, yeah. So I did get time to rest, and I did get time to heal. And as I say heal, I mean heal my me, my soul, my body, comprehend a lot about myself. So yeah, I do get time to rest.
That is good. And I was going to say, being in the industry, there's a lot of up and down. Like you could be working today, not working tomorrow. Things happen. And because growing up, I grew up in the industry as well as working in it. I can definitely understand that. I do want to ask, what was it like when you first got the call for Pose? What was going through your head? Like, because I know for me, whenever I first got my first big TV show asked to be on reality TV, it was just like, me? Wait a minute, who, me? You want me? So what was going through your mind when all that was happening?
So for me, for Pose, I didn't think I was even a contender. Because when I sat there, it was so open. I saw all these other women, these brilliant actors. I had no idea there were so many trans actors out there, furthermore, Black trans actors out there. So for me, it was like, oh, wow, come on. They have already been here. I'm really trying to start. I'm already 40 years old. I already had my 15 minutes with a strut. So, hey, girl, this is not even your league. But I was in bed. I was still recovering from bottom surgery, my happy surgery. And I got the phone call and I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. And I was just like, no, 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 no. And then something hit me. And it was like, this is what you prayed for.
Oh.
It was like, this is what you prayed for. It was like, you were asking for this. You were asking for this opportunity. So what are you going to do with it? And I just started to jump for joy. I was jumping on my bed. Because I had come from immigration issues. I had come from a lot of heartache and pain. So it was like family issues, everything. So Strut gave me that oomph. And then after Strut was not renewed, I started working at Destination Tomorrow. So all these things were lining up. And I was like, well, you know what? He's taking care of me. The universe is taking care of me. So I'm not going to, think. So I'm good. So when Pose came along, it was like thank you for the opportunity, but blah, 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 blah. But listen, I'm having surgery. Like in between the first and second call, I actually had my happy surgery. This is my happy surgery. This is my impersonation of it, because this is my journey, and everyone's that is trans, their journey ends in a different place, and it doesn't make us any less of a woman than we are. But for me, my version of womanhood was that surgery. So I was in that very happy place. And then Pose came along. So I was like, never get this. But I worked so hard for it. I was up with the thing. I was working at Destination Tomorrow, and I was like director of programs then. So I was like working, we were really out. Sean was just starting and building the agency. And then here was Pose. I was like, it's not going to work like this. You're not going to give me this great thing, and then you're going to give me that great thing too. Right. So forget about it. And they called. So I was jumping on the bed, flipping on the bed. I had my puppy Scooter at the time, and I was just like grabbing him because he helped with my agoraphobia. Because he was one of the only reasons I got outside. So I was just in that space of like, it was work and Scooter. So when all of these, well, it was Scooter, then I made it to Strut. Strut was done. Work was like a block away from home. So I was like, yeah, you have blessed me. I don't have to get on trains to go to work. I don't have to do any of that. Now I have my puppy, so everything is good. So what? Why would you? There's so many other people out here that need stuff, right? So why would you just come and just dump this all on me? But I'm going to take it. And I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic. I was just like above the moon, just thrilled. And I knew I had hard work to put in. I knew it was going to be work, but I was prepared for the work. I didn't see the fame of it. I saw the story that was going to be told. I saw what it would do for our community. And I was like, I have to be my best, because guess what? It's pouring. It was raining. Now it's pouring. So yeah, I'm not taking an umbrella for this one. I'm standing.
Well, that's why I'm not just like a fangirl about your amazing performances. Like your performances, or your entire, history performances, what's to come is exciting, right? But as somebody who's a lifelong activist, I'm also a fan of you as a change maker on so many levels, right? Like that you've always seen yourself as somebody who's able to take action in communities. And while we know you're an influencer and your social media has just, obviously blossomed with a lot of your appearances and all of that, like how would you describe this move from, community organizing, like you mentioned with Destination Tomorrow, which is a phenomenal program, to, how you're using that success today as a form of activism?
Well, see, for me, activism is actually, I'm shy. I really am. And TikTok and social media, dancing and stuff is my way of connecting with the world while being and admitting finally that I am agoraphobic. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't intention to say, oh, I'm going to go out there and show the world that trans people can be happy and can live life. I was just actually being myself and just doing the things that I knew that we could do. And then as a human being, I'm seeing that other people in my community share my story, relate to it. I'm seeing that there are other things going on in other communities. So I just wanted to say, hey, people are watching me. Why not spread the word about these things? Maybe someone can help. Maybe that's what we can do. And so that's what it was. And besides, for me, I believe that every human being is a human being. I believe that this classification and socialism and all this kind of stuff is absolutely unnecessary. I believe that, we should not have billionaires while there are people hungry. Like you have people working in your factories that are like really starving and trying to make ends meet. And then you drive through these huge gates into a 34-bedroom house. And then, how is that fair in the world? And meanwhile, it's these people's work that is allowing you to have those billions. And weren't we supposed to work together? So if you are able to create something, right, then it's not for you to really see it as a way for you to profit so largely that you separate yourself from humanity.
That's powerful. Yeah, and I love what you're sharing in terms of like you have to come to those conversations where you're at, and that oftentimes when we're carrying the banner of an identity or a community that we're part of, but may not it intersects with so many parts of ourselves, right? Like you're not going to be able to tick every box in every place. Like you have to deal with your own stories, your own journey, your own place, and sometimes that's part of recognizing that an identity is one layer of many that everybody brings in the room, and when society like holds us, causes us harm, causes us cruelty, related to some of those identities, then it's our job to kind of say, hey, look, we're all engaged in this. We all, if we treat each other like human beings and we build a world around treating each other like human beings, we're all better off. And I think, you sharing your story and being able to share those truths and support that through your different channels is saying like, here I am, this is me just living my life, but like, we're in this together. Like I'm here for whatever channels and you're using your work to do that, which is just, again, I appreciate it so much. It is just really powerful. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And, as we go to break, I was wanting to piggyback off of what Shane said. I think you being your authentic self is the gift itself. Because so many times we see people stand up and say, I'm talking about mental health, or I'm talking about agoraphobia, I'm talking about this. But if you don't deal with it firsthand, you can talk about it all day, but it's a difference when you experience it and live it. So you just being who you are authentically and just letting that show, it makes people understand and realize I'm not alone. I'm not here by myself.
And that's another motivation that I actually have to do it now. It's because I was looking at, people always said, don't read the comments, don't read the comments. I love social media because it was a way for me to, I love dancing and stuff like that. But it was like, I read the comments and I was reading that, people were inspired at times. And then there would be the negative comments. So I had to fight with that and say to myself, well, what are you going to view? Are you going to deny those people who are being inspired, but those that are actually uncomfortable with themselves, so they project that onto you and try to destroy you? So it was a way for me to really build myself, build my confidence, and show people that we can. And that's what I do too. Black trans women, I want them to know we can. And how do we know that we can if you see me and you only see the tip of the iceberg? And for so many, we have to realize that your tip of the iceberg is great. That's fine. But what we need to use to be able to really stand on your shoulders is to see what's beneath the surface. It's to see how you got there. Some people, and I have come to feel empathy for those people who are unable to share their past because they're still embarrassed about it. They still have not been able to deal with it. For me, it was very difficult dealing with my past. It was very difficult facing all of those things. But it was sitting in Callan Lord, I think it was in the year 2000, when I was so devastated about the results of an HIV test. I had not been tested. I was, the molestation with the priest, all that stuff had occurred. I was ready to stand up. And so I went to Callan Lord, finally, the fears all put behind me. And it took 2 weeks. That Western test, oh gosh, devastating. So anyway, I go through all of this, and as I am sitting there and I'm almost perspiring, nervous about going, if I should even just want to find out, I see people come out and they are devastated. And I too start to feel that, and I go in and I come out and I sit with them, and that was excruciating too, because they really made you feel like something was wrong with you before they told you were negative. And when they told me I was negative, I was ready to scream and jump for joy. But as I walked out, I saw all those people and I realized that I may not have been infected, but I am affected. And so from then it was, you have to lend your voice. You have to turn around and help people. The gift that you have may seem like it could make you all the money in the world, but it's worth nothing really if you don't help others, if you don't assist others. And helping others does not mean fixing their problems. Sometimes it just means that you're just there.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And we're going to take a quick break, but we want everybody to stay tuned to this superstar episode of Power Beyond Pride, because we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about how, Dominique, you're really impacting others in the entertainment business, but also other community members in your work, as we had continuing conversation with actress, producer, and dare I say it, changemaker extraordinaire, Dominique Jackson.
Welcome back to Power Beyond Pride, your queer change-making podcast. I am your most fabulous hostess, Miss Mattie, and I'm here with my sexy, very scandalous other host, co-host, Mr. Shane himself. And we are both, fantastic, not just as people, but we are FAN fans of this person, with the amazing Dominique Jackson, having a beautiful conversation about life in itself. And I thank her for being here with us. And like we were talking before we went to break, and you was telling me about how you sat in the bed thinking about the moment when you first found out about Pose. And it's funny how I'm sitting here now laughing because this morning before we recorded, I was doing the same thing. I'm sitting in bed. I'm like, God, is this really my life? Like, am I really at the place that I said I wanted to be? I remember praying for so much to get here. And I'd be like, I can't wait till it happens. I can't wait till the promise is finally given back. And, because his word doesn't return void. And now that we're walking in his promise, it's almost like, this is it. Am I awake? Am I in the moment? Am I enjoying it? And then most importantly, am I honoring him and doing what it is I was supposed to do with it? So I totally agree with you on that one. I do want to start back in and ask this one.
Wait, 1 second. You were praying to meet me?
Yes, I was.
Really?
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. So I am a person that loves watching TV shows, but I don't fangirl over shows because I'm that person. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't never really fangirl over stuff. But when I watched Pose and me and my mom sat down and watched it together, it was so funny because I was like, I love MJ's character. My mom was like, no, you are Electra all day. And I was like, how am I Electra? And she was like, because you're dominant, you know what you want in life, you're charismatic, you're flawlessly gorgeous, and you are my child. So why would you not be Electra? So then I started looking at your character and I started realizing, I was like, you know what? Let me get to know more about Dominique Jackson. So it's crazy because I auditioned for Pose at one point. I wasn't upset that I didn't get it because I was okay with it because I was like, there's so many beautiful women on the show. And like you said earlier, so many beautiful trans actresses that we don't even know about because for so long we had to hide. We had to just be a female actress that now we can stand and celebrate being trans. And so watching the show, I was like, I remember telling my brother, I was like, I'm never going to get a chance at this show. Like, this is not going to happen. And now sitting here having a girl-to-girl conversation, like a true girlfriend conversation. Oh my. Yes, I was praying for this moment. Yes.
Well, you know what? I received that. And thank you for giving me that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Anytime. That, and I think I said it earlier, but you don't know just being authentically who you are, how much it does help other people. I think one of the best compliments that could be given to a person that is on TV and in movies is to know that you are exactly the same on and off camera. And I can honestly say, having a conversation with you now, you are truly a beautifully amazing mother. I can see it in you, and a beautiful queen in every right. So thank you for your to the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, and before break, we were talking about how you share that with people. And I'm really fascinated because, not only as an actress, which we've talked about, but also as a producer, right? Looking at this different side of the ability to bring your vision, your passion, your name. Obviously, as you become more of a celebrity, that becomes its own social capital, right? Then bringing that into, but because sometimes that makes a difference. And if you're in Hollywood in those industries, they won't look at anything. If they get a name attached, they're like, oh, let me pay attention to this, right? It can get some traction. So it means something to put your name.
I'm not there yet.
Right?
No, just joking.
But you are. But I mean, you are. I mean, you're again such an incredible actress, and
Well,
and
thank
such,
you,
such
thank
an, and I think what I love is that with last year you brought your role as executive producer to the documentary I'm Your Venus, right? And for those who don't know the documentary, it follows up on the story of Venus Extravaganza, the legendary star of Paris is Burning, which, by the way, I watched in a wonderful clothing optional little place in NOLA that's called the Rail Yard, which is this amazing trans-friendly space that is just phenomenal. So I'm going to just highly recommend it because it is just amazingly open and body positive and wonderful. But they showed Paris is Burning literally like when I was just in New Orleans a few weeks ago. And it was like, I'd seen it before, but it was like the end always gets me. Like I'm always in just destroyed. And so at the end, of course, it is the very quickly moved, assault and murder of Venus Extravaganza. And then, but they don't really ever solve it. And I loved that you went back to that conversation. You went back to that conversation and said, we have too many people who have passed at brutal and cruel hands that have just been disappeared and all of this. And this is a really important story to say, like, hey, we need to bring this back because we deserve closure for all of the individuals who've been assaulted and harmed. And like, here's one that we can really focus on and bring that attention to, because all of these stories are important. Can you share a little bit about your journey and what producing means to you, how important that is to you?
It was Mike Strafford and Genovia Chase. Genovia Chase, absolutely fabulous human being, intelligent woman, boss. We call her boss lady. And they called up. They have been working to get the brothers. Actually, one of the daughters, Venus's niece, wanted to get the tombstone changed and put her name, Venus, on it. And that was amazing. And from there came everything. They wanted to reopen the case and solve it and just bring justice to Venus and the community. So we were on the mission to solve the case. I was attached because Venus was like my story. It was Venus that kept me alive, because listening to her story made you think twice a lot of times. It made you aware. The older girls would say to me, remember Venus, remember Venus. Where are you going? Remember Venus. Make sure you go to this hotel. Make sure you don't go here. Make sure you don't do this with them. Like, it was based off of what happened to Venus. It really put a fear into a lot of us around 42nd Street, even in the early 90s. And so as I did the documentary Defining Moments with Ozzy, I realized they used the clip of Venus, and Venus transitioned into me walking on the pier. So from there, it was like, I put all these things together and my knowledge and how much it meant to me. And it was like, you know what? I want to be a part of this. And so happy that we did, because now what we have is on Netflix. We're showing the world in this time how the ballroom family and the biological family came together. The biological family is actually opening up and being vulnerable and being real and true and showing that, listen, we could have done better. And it was their truth. They were so real and true about it. The connection that we now have, the way that they connected with Giselle from the House of Extravaganza and Auntie Coco and the members of that, they call themselves extravaganzas now. And here's the thing. They changed tombstone. Her name is now Venus Pelagatti Extravaganza. So the families put it all together because that was a part of her life. That was her family. Please go watch the documentary on Netflix. It's called I'm Your Venus. And you will see I won't give you all the details because you probably know we were unable to solve the case. But what we got out of this is a bond of what family really is and how chosen and proven family can play such an important part in your life. And that's what I wanted to align with that. And I wanted to bring the world us. And because of Genovia, she is so authentic and so true to community and everything like that, we were able to direct him Reed into understanding what it really meant to be Black, to be of ballroom culture, to have lived through some of the sufferings that Venus has lived, to understand what the possible extravaganza could possibly be.
And it's beautiful that the family and the ballroom culture can come together, because a lot of people don't realize that we went to ballroom because we didn't have family. That became our family. So now to be able to see the bridge of family and community family and all of it coming together, it really does give hope for the younger generation. Because I know even now as I get older and I'm talking to younger LGBTQ plus youth, and I'm just, I laugh because I'm like, honey, you ain't even lived life yet. Calm down. Like, I know it's true, but you ain't even got nowhere yet. I promise. But two, it's almost hardening because I was talking to one of my babies the other day, and he's 25, and we were talking about the I Am Venus and talking about Paris is Burning, and he's like, I've never seen it. And I'm like, yeah, how do y'all not know that this is your history? This is your culture. Like, I need you. Because even when I was talking about ballroom scene one time, and he was like, well, what's ball? Baby, there's so much I got to teach you. Like, you got so much to learn. So I'm grateful that Netflix embracing that we have these documentaries.
Yes, but you know something? I think that we have to at times treat our younger folks as us in our younger days and think about the way that we desire to learn and now find ways that would match that. And so for me, one of the ways is I incorporate certain things. I let them try to discover themselves. Hey, here's this documentary. You may not align with it, but it's something that can teach you. And I've been very fortunate to be in spaces with youth that actually desired to understand their history so that they didn't repeat it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that you're connecting again with generations, because there's also a case where their version of coming to themselves, right? Coming into themselves is going to be different. It's going to live in a different world. It's got different opportunities. Like they will have experienced pose, right? Like I remember growing up and I came out at 17, there weren't stories of queerness that were out there in a lot of public spheres for me to be able to access. Even Paris's Burning wasn't something that was publicly available, right? It was something that lived very much in these sort of indie doc houses and stuff like that. So, as a young person in the Midwest, and I think about, again, all the queer people who are growing up in all these parts of the country who now have access to these stories, to these models, to these places that you're part of this conversation. Like you said, there are so many talents, but also so many stories that get to be told with all of these identities in tow. And so I want to also draw our attention to one of those really important stories that is coming out this week. So we're really excited about it. We've been very serious, and one might even say dead serious about the things we're talking about. But now you have an upcoming role in the Queens of the Dead, and the title's just giving me chills already. So I'm because I'm a huge horror movie fan, so I'm pretty excited. And the title sounded familiar to me because, of course, I know Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, both classics by the infamous George Romero, and this one is coming from his daughter. Tell us more.
Yes, his daughter Tina Romero, who actually went by DJ Tricks. She's a DJ also, fabulous DJ, played at the Rabbit, I think. And so Tina Romero, she just wanted to do something that was her, but spoke to the community. And she wanted us to address us within ourselves, because there is such angst in between the community. I was just unfortunately, looking at an Instagram post of where a gentleman was speaking so very, how should I put it? Confidently about his feeling that the T should not be with the L, the G, and the B. And, in his tirade, he made a valid point. And one of those valid points is that, yes, the L, the G, and the B are sexual orientations, and the others are identities. But when you have a society who casts everyone out and segregates you so that each one is a minority, when you combine, you become the majority, and now your force and your fight becomes more inclusive than when you stand separated. So Queens of the Dead also addresses the political climate that we are under. It also addresses our views on how we connect with social media and stuff like that. And I believe that it's interesting. So it's also funny, and and I really enjoyed it. It was so hot when we were filming. It was like sweltering heat last year, July in Jersey. No budget. Everyone was really like just showing up and participating. And, it felt again like Pose. It was like family. Those are the sets that I really appreciate. We were laughing with each other. Everyone was excited to be there, to be a part of it. It wasn't about, oh my gosh, where's my trailer? And oh my gosh, well, they're feeding us this today. And what are they feeding us tomorrow? And when is my car going to arrive? My fiance was driving me back and forth on days at 6 a.m. when I had to show up, if I had to show up at that time. And we were getting it done. So this movie, a lot of real hard work and stuff was really put into it. And it didn't come from a spoiled space. It came from a space of really, truly wanting to put something out there. So I believe that this is now going to be one of the first movies that it's a majority queer cast. And horror movies, I believe, I don't want to misspeak, where it's a majority, and I can't give anything away, but when you see, you will see how inclusive and how real it is. So when they showed us horror movies and things are happening and you have the one gay person that showed up, now you get to see it from our entire perspective. And we were even inclusive of straight people too.
You know what? Then we have to make some space for them. They have to be here somewhere. I mean, I guess if we have to, I guess there's that.
So you know what? I will always thank straight people. I mean, I know that cis people, a lot of them, well, not just cis people, well, a lot of the cis baby making people can be really confused because, I am very grateful to them because we can't make ourselves. So
it's true, but it's fun to try. It's fun to try. I'm just saying, I give it the old college try as much as I possibly can.
Just the whole thought of it now just made me not even want to have sex again. Because now you're like trying to have a baby. I'm like, wait, no.
I broke sex with Dominique Jackson. I feel terrible.
No, wait. I'm like, wait, that's what sex was for? No.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm done. No, I'm joking.
I'm ashamed of myself. I'm ashamed of myself now for having broken sex with Dominique Jackson. I feel terrible.
Oh my God.
Well, I have to. Okay, so one thing you can't tell us about the movie, but you can tell us: did you get to be scary?
My
you get to be scared. Like, is it scared or scary?
I really couldn't tell you without giving it away because I can't give it away.
Okay, just ask the question. Shane, leave Dominique alone. See, that's why I'm here, people. I'm here to also regulate. Shane is nosy and he be asking too much. So I'm going to throw my
no spoilers. No spoilers because I really want to work, and confidentiality and stuff like that is really important in Hollywood. And after you work for someone like Mr. Ryan Murphy, you understand and respect confidentiality.
You do. I'm going to throw you a lifeline in this one because what we're going to do is just go ahead and go to break. So that way there's no more questions to even bother, to even get you to even go to that place. So stay with us.
I'm being put in a corner.
We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with the amazing Dominique Jackson.
Welcome back to Power Beyond Pride, a queer change-making podcast. I'm Shane Lukas. I'm here with my phenomenal co-host, Mattie Bynum, and the superstar, Dominique Jackson, who apparently I was put in the corner because I'm that kind of host. So that's how I'll break away.
Don't start. Look here, we're not going to start this segment off like this. We're not going to. So I'm just going to start. You stay in the corner, Shane. Stay in the corner. Dominique, I have a question for you. So I know with everything you have going on, we talked about you being an activist, and I really love that you have a big commitment to mental health and working in the mental health field. What resonates with you about mental health? I know for me in general what does, but what has gotten you inspired to work with mental health?
Me. Me. Like it was me. I'm Caribbean, West Indian, from Tobago, and people are always telling you that you're not supposed to talk about your issues. You're not supposed to talk about your problems. And I was suffering. I was holding on to so much that, a child, being molested as a child is something that you just don't let go of, and you might think everything is okay, but it really isn't. These are things that you have to deal with at some point, and it helps to free you, and it was just, and through that molestation, that is why I believe I thought I was HIV positive. So that was 8 years of my life that I woke up every morning suffering, thinking something was wrong with me, thinking that I had lost my family. So I knew that, how could a mother say to you, I will only tolerate you, I won't accept you, and then tell you that you have to leave your home and then look at you. And at one point in time, one of my family members called me a demon. And these were people that were supposed to love and care for you. And you trusted in them and you believed in them. And now you're outside with no green card. No one wants to speak to you. You're on your own. And the only thing you can do to survive is sex work, because the very same people who tell you that you don't belong in society are the very same people who come knocking on your door, asking you to do really crazy things with them. So with all that, I told myself, and I saw where members of my community couldn't deal with the things that were happening. I always wondered, and being Pisces, I always wondered how the mind works. And so therefore, I always wondered why people reacted in certain ways. Why is this? And I found myself stepping away from my core. My core was always about love and about respecting people and loving people. And when I found myself really separate from that, when I found myself saying things to people that would really hurt them, it was my sister, God bless her soul, Kenya alone. We were walking a ball. I was walking a ball in Philadelphia. And going down the runway, I was just in my moment and everything like that. She chopped me. And it was the sexy face. And I was so upset. And I said to her, and I screamed out, I don't worry, bitch, you'll be dead next week. And she was. So all that with me, it was like I was so far from my core that I had to find a way to come back. And then society was saying to me, in Black communities, you're taught, oh, if you go to a therapist, you're crazy, or something's wrong. And it was, eventually I just felt like, listen, I'm losing it here. I was on the floor crying, I'm losing it. And the first therapist I went to started out great. And then as we're going along, I'm going to therapy. I'm changing. It's me. So I changed my ways. And one day he laughs and he says, you know what? I said, so what do you find so funny? Why are you laughing at me? He says, because you need so much attention. You keep changing your hair. And I was like, I'm a Black woman. And it's not my hair. It's hair, but this is not a mask. This is not a disguise. It's my expression. And one of the people I was working with that belonged to an organization was helping me pay for that therapy. So I said, let me keep going, because there were parts that were working. I was starting to feel like someone was, hey. So then another time they just didn't show up for the appointment and told me they forgot. So then I went to another therapist, and when I told them that I wanted bottom surgery, they showed me all the most horrible possible pictures and told me all the worst things about a gender-affirming surgery that they could possibly do. Told me that trans people didn't exist, that you could be gay, but there was nothing further than that. And so I was just shook in a corner. And then I finally found the right person. And when I found her, Shira just turned my life around. She made me see me, and she took time with me to face me. And so that's why I got into mental health, because I know what seeing a therapist did for me. I know what I held on to and what I had to let go of. And I know that a lot of my community is in need of that therapy. A lot of us are in need of someone to help us that is not going to use that as a weapon against us.
Yeah.
And she made me feel so safe. And so that's why I will always be an advocate and an activist for mental health. It's very important. And then look at what we're facing. I talk about agoraphobia now, and I know we have a limited time, but if they can extend it, fine. I know I talk about agoraphobia now. I would never tell people I was agoraphobic. But now I'm hearing my sisters talk about not going outside. I'm hearing women in the community and in a Black community talking about they pay someone to go to the store for that. And I'm saying to myself, outside is beautiful, so I have to work to get back there. I can't let laws and legislation and the fact that I was strangled within moments of my life and all this stuff stop me. There's a constant battle. And I share that with the world, and I share that with everyone, because I always know that when I was at my lowest, I was looking for people that were like me, that were facing it. And when you're not having a green card and immigrant, you're looking for other people to be able to say, well, you know what? I don't have one too. And there was no one that would say it. It wasn't until after I got my green card that there were people coming forward and say, oh, I couldn't even tell people. There was no resource. So with mental health, I've adopted the same thing. It is, if you're going through it and you have the ability to be able to share it, please do. And because when you do, even if it's one person in the backwoods that sees it and it changes their life, that means the world.
Well, first thing to say is thank you for sharing the courage it takes to talk about mental health, the courage it takes to talk about our own journeys in many different ways. I also want to take a moment. I want to give a shout out to Shira. Again, it sounds like an incredible, but those people who, sometimes are just doing their
10 years,
jobs.
Actually 12 years that I have been with Shira. I don't see her all the time now, but for 12 years, it was a constant. During polls, we stopped. But I thought, okay, polls is here, so I don't need therapy anymore. But I needed it even more because now I was faced with fame, not money. And that's tough.
But we thank her. We thank you for all of that. Because again, what you're doing every day in the professional work you do, and the work you're doing across the organizations that you work with there in New Jersey, and again, to young people and people all across the country is really modeling that authenticity that lets people know they're not alone, and that is, again, for a lot of queer people, that is important to hear over and over again. We need to be able to see and hear and connect other people. So, but it takes courage to do that. And so that journey that you just shared is a powerful one, right? Because it is not a straight line from one place to another, no pun intended. It is a line that goes through curves and challenges, but the hope is that young people don't have to experience those same challenges. That's one of the things that we do in our work, right? Is like they shouldn't have to have our trauma that we had, and we can create a system that's better.
I always say, and I feel like this, because I do a lot of the things that I do because of the fact that I know what I went through. So I don't want someone else to have to go through that. So I really don't believe in that. Oh, I paid my dues. You got to pay your dues too. No, I paid my dues. So the dues that you're going to pay should be dues that are paid to progress.
I'm going to photocopy that. I'm going to put that on my wall. I'm going to needle point it, if that's okay. I'm going to needle point it and put that, because I'm 100% on board. That I've said that many times, because I've had queer people in our communities say like, well, all these, young people, like, they just don't know how easy they've got it. And I'm like, I don't need them to know how easy they've got it. They have their own challenges. And if they live long enough,
they don't have it easy.
And if they live long enough to be able to do that, yeah, exactly, right? It's not easy, but it's a different type of not easy, because now they're thinking about a life and a future that we didn't even think was possible when we were young. And so if they can imagine that future, and they're worried about like whether they buy a house, which is a legit concern, or like whether they do these things and get to their retirement ages, that is so much more than many young people had, years ago, and that many young people see themselves as having had many years ago, right? And so that means we're doing our work, is that they're seeing that there's a future possible, and you are embodying that. And that is what I think, again, I just appreciate so much that you're bringing here. And, we're going to get to know you a little bit more because you're a Pisces. So you are asking lots of questions, and as the audio people listen to the audio podcast, I'm moving my hands up because it's like a Pisces fish, I guess. That's what I'm doing, is the embodiment of Pisces fish. And so we're going to ask some speed round questions. Is that okay? Can we?
Sure.
Awesome. And now when we ask the questions, just the first thing that comes to your mind, just let it go. Are you ready?
Wait, let me breathe for a second.
Take a sip of drink, breathe, get together, collect yourself. Like Debbie Allen would say, breathe, stretch, shake, and let it go. And now we can do it.
Right. Okay.
Ready? And favorite spot to watch a sunset?
Oh my gosh, Curacao.
Oh,
beautiful.
Do you prefer cocktail parties or karaoke night?
Cocktail party.
Ooh. Do you have a favorite outfit that you wear to like the cocktail parties, or do you shop? Do you like look for?
I love fashion. There's no favorite. If it looks good and I feel it, it's on.
Yes.
I love it. What's one message you tell your younger self?
You're going to be fine. You're going to be more than fine. You're going to be great. You're going to be great. Like, great. You see all this you're going through right now? Child chill. You'll be great. You'll be great.
I think that's what we'll tell all our previous selves. Just hold on. So who's more dominant, Dominique or Electra?
Electra.
One word, something you love about the LGBTQ+ community.
Beauty.
Beauty. I love it.
Yes, it comes from all spectrums. Beauty. Yes, I definitely agree. So we always ask every person on the show this last question is, what does power beyond pride mean to you?
Oh my gosh, you have me kind of stumped on that one. You really do, because there's so much, so many directions I could go with that, because I could take it as we are more than just the pride movement.
There you go.
I mean, and that's what I really looked at, because when I saw power beyond pride, I also have this thing where I believe we should fly the flag 365, because places and spaces, it always bothered me that, wait, you're so inclusive in June, or you're ready to promote a thing, but we exist 365 days. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
I love that answer.
That's a beautiful answer.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful answer. Yeah, absolutely. So, in addition to catching Pose on all the streaming services, and I'm Your Venus on Netflix, Queens of the Dead in theaters starting this month.
October 24th.
October 24th.
Yeah, I can give you a date.
Where else can people follow you and your work?
Well, I am Dominique T.A.R. Jackson. No, wait, it's Dominique T.A.R. Jackson on Instagram and on TikTok. Or on TikTok, you could also find me as Dominique T. the Butterfly. The butterfly is because that's one of, I believe, like my spirit animals. I'm a mermaid, I'm a butterfly. So in my head, I'm a mermaid with butterfly wings, with this intelligence and symmetry of a panther or a cougar. So it's all mixed up.
I am loving all of this, and all of them at the same time.
But the butterflies, because I felt like becoming me was a cocoon. And so it was like a second puberty, and it was a choice of really being able to delve into me. And so during that cocoon period, I was Tyra Alora Ross, because that was the name, the stage name, everything like that. And when I emerged from my cocoon as Dominique, being able to embrace all of me, Tyra was a part of that. So, yeah. So the butterfly is symbolic of being able to be this one thing and then not even transform, but grow into something that is beautiful. That also understands that you can let the rainstorm come through and wait so that your wings don't get wet.
I just feel like that was a mic drop. So
I'm taking you. I think the whole conversation's been a mic drop, Shane, to be honest with you. Like, you have left us with so many gems. So many gems. And we thank you so much for being on this podcast. We are sadly out of time, but we thank you so much. Everything that you are doing, you have done, you're going to do, just representation of yourself and of the community. We, as a collective, we say thank you. We say thank you. It takes a lot to stand up and be a beautiful Black woman. It takes a lot to stand up and say, I've suffered with mental health. It takes a lot to stand up and just say, I am here for you. And so we thank you for that.
Well, thank you, my loves, and thank you for your work. And Mattie, you keep going, my love. You keep going. Show up for those auditions. Keep going. Don't stop, right?
Oh, I'm not stopping. Look here. I'm like Jennifer Lewis, honey. I'm just getting started. I'm just.
There we go.
Yeah.
And like Mattie said, I want to thank you for being here, for sharing your experience, your insights, your talents, your vision for change. All of it just means so much. And while we are out of time, we do hope you'll join us again, in different stages of your journey. Please join us. We would love to have you back.
Well, thank you so very much, and all the best to all of you. And just remember, it's really simple for us to just love each other.
That's it. And so I am Mattie, one of your co-hosts here on Power Beyond Pride. You can find me at Instagram, Mattie Simone 737. Also on Facebook as Mattie Bynum. And lastly, I just want to echo, like Shane and Dominique have both said, you're not alone. People who are listening to this podcast, if you can't take nothing else from it, we are a community. We are here together. We are standing together. Don't ever feel like you're alone.
Yes. All of that. And I am your co-host, Shane Lukas, and I am the non-superstar of this discussion today. I have all superstars around me all the way around, so that is amazing. I'm a lifelong harm reductionist. I am a lover of communities and bringing people together. And like I said, I'm probably the person most voted to get a Darwin Award most likely in my life. You can follow me at shanelukas.com or greatidea.com. Remember to subscribe and get your friends and their friends and all the friends that you have to subscribe to Power Beyond Pride on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And check out our site at powerbeyondpride.com.
Power Beyond Pride is a project from A Great Idea, a queer-owned design and content agency. Learn more about them at agreatidea.com.
And this episode is produced by Shane Lukas, that'd be me. Mattie Bynum is the project developer. And we are, by the way, we are members. Well, Mattie's going to say that in a second. So our editor is Jarrett Redding. I'm just jumping through. And we have support here from Ian Wilson.
And as Shane was just saying, we are just a part of a host team collective of 7 people, beautiful personalities. And we invite you to always send in your questions and comments to Power Beyond Pride because we all have a different expression to answer your question.
Check out our new episodes each week, including our Reply All once a month, where we look at the latest in headlines and have conversations about things that impact organizers and community partners. And we look forward to queer change making with you next time. So thank you from all of us at Power Beyond Pride.